It's the Date Master. Yes, we're back with another banger. When you come in, make sure you like, hit the subscribe button, comment, leave your feedback, and hit the notification bell. That way you are notified whenever I drop a video. I'm going to get into another video, another topic. Just going to kind of give some context, and I think a lot of people who's come in this space are not too familiar in which with the origins of this type of content. For those of you who know and who did the research, there's a guy by the name of Tom Likas, and a lot of this pertains to the women who come in this space. They tried to put the devil's head on Kevin Samuels. May he rest in peace, the late, great Kevin Samuels. His message and his legacy will forever live. Myron Gaines, Thomas Sotomayor, Patrice O'Neal, who was right behind Tom Likas, is pretty much, I wouldn't even say right behind. He came in right when Tom Likas was bubbling. I believe they even did some collaboration together. Thomas Sotomayor, so many others. Minister Jap, shout out to him. It's a lot of people who has been exposed to this game early on, but a lot of women tend to come in this space and they don't understand where this type of content originated. See, a lot of women say Kevin Samuels got guys doing podcasts and talking about women all day when it was really a Caucasian white male by the name of Tom Likas, who started this back in the late 70s, 80s. Pretty much has a net worth of 22 million. You really won't have anyone in the radio in the business that started back in the 70s, 80s and have a net worth of 20 million plus today. So he does also have a great legacy, a legacy of works, and he has a message that is pretty much on par with Kevin Samuels, Marvin Gaines, and Thomas Sotomayor, and so many others. He talked about the controversial topics of dating single mothers. He talked about the controversial topics of giving a date a certain price limit. Not Kevin Samuels, not Fresh and Fit. So what you must understand is that we are in the process of overcorrecting a huge issue. And a lot of times when you overcorrect too much, you tend to destroy more than you fix. It's kind of like when you're driving and you lose control of a car. If you overcorrect too much, you're going to cause an accident that was much worse than when you were just going off course. But when you suddenly try to overcorrect too much at the same time or simultaneously, you tend to cause more damage than good. So you have the Kendra G's, you have all of these female creators, right? They're trying to mimic and pretty much use the talking points that men have and use counter arguments, because in most cases, every argument has two sides to it. The thing is, a woman's ear is fueled by emotions. She doesn't process logic very well. We can see this by their daily behavior. You'll see a group of friends and it's two baby mothers, and you look up, it's six. And in their mind, it's a rite of passage because everyone else is doing it, so it's okay for me to do it, versus saying, well, I don't want to live that life. I'm going to do it the opposite way. So the red pill, the blue pill, all of this banter and rhetoric came about to try to overcorrect a huge issue which originated with mainstream media infiltrating the household. When they said we're going to put television sets into your houses, see, the thing with people in America, in the West, and not just in America, but just a lot of places that have that European indoctrination, let's just call it a spade. If you look at a lot of places that have been westernized within European ideology, a lot of technology is in those places. Let's look at Europe. Europe is pretty much is America. Let's look at Canada. It's even going to South America. So whether you have, I was listening to Soft White Underbelly. I need to find the interview again. I listened to it this morning, and they were interviewing a divorce attorney, and he said, we're living in a medieval time from a modern aspect, but he stated we're living in a medieval system. We work, pay bills, but in the palm of our hands and in our houses, we have godlike technology. And that resonated with me. because you have people working a bullshit job that they hate. They don't have any purpose in life. They're not fulfilled with their daily, they're not fulfilled. So they seek dopamine. The television set was to keep you programmed. That's why it's called television programming. You see, in other areas such as, just pay attention to China, Korea, the Asian cultures, they're not participating in they're limiting the social media, they're limiting the internet use. They're going back to traditional culture because they see the damage and the dangers of the modern culture. So this started when the television set was put in that living room and you start emulating what you saw on TV. You start going after what they were selling you. See, we thought we didn't have an option. See, I don't have a TV, and I did this with my last move. I said I'm not going to put a television set in my bedroom. So if I have a television, I may only have one, maybe two, because it's only if I want to watch a movie and I want to watch it like I'm at the movies. But some people will just play a television on and on. They don't even cut it off. And they think they're sleeping and they're drowning out. They don't hear the television. The television is still doing its programming in your subconscious. But I don't want to dive deep into that. That's another topic. But the collapse of the traditional family came with mainstream media when hip hop music was hijacked. Hip hop music did not start off with Sexy Red and Cardi B and Nicki Minaj running around stage with their ass out. Hip hop started with a positive message to fight against the system, which we all know a system does exist. That was the essence of hip hop. It wasn't all of these shoot 'em up. You can make a song right now talking about killing a black man. It's going to get 1 million views. You put another person in that black man's shoes in which the message is directed, they're going to have it taken off the airways the very next day. Yet we're so programmed, we don't think we can correct this. And then there came the welfare, Margaret Sanger. You notice how all of these things came about simultaneously. The civil rights movement, feminist movement, Planned Parenthood, welfare. All of these things came simultaneously. So one can conclude that this was all by design, because you don't have that many. Then the war on drugs, then the 3 strikes law. You don't have that many movements following one another so closely that it's not by design. That is what you call an agenda. When you go to a meeting, if you're in the corporate world, if you're in a certain environment and you have a meeting, there is an agenda in which you have to stick by to stay on task. So the collapse of the traditional family sparked the rise of red pill media. Hence the Tommy Sotomayors, the Patrice O'Neills, because they started paying attention to behaviors and they started speaking on them. Specifically, Tom Likas. If you're not familiar with him, go look up some of his content. It's on YouTube. It's archived, because he had a potent message which is still alive and well today. And it was speaking to the men, because he was married 4 times, got divorced 4 times. So who better to give you the perspective of marriage and relationships from a man who's done it and failed at it 4 times? And they were paying attention to the responses they were getting from the women, because while the men were out working, what do you think the women were doing? Or if the women were working, they were only working minimal shifts. They weren't working 10 to 12-hour shifts like they are today. So this sparked a conversation, and men said, is your girl looking to want you to take her on trips all of a sudden? Does your girl want Louis Vuitton all of a sudden? Is your girl trying to get you to get these steaks all of a sudden? See, these conversations took place because media programming came in and said, if your man is not taking you here, doing this, looking like that, then you have a loser. Go back and pay attention to your dating experiences when you're in high school, early college. Ask yourself, why did these women like you? They liked you just based on your personality. They liked you because of how you made them feel. They liked you for, in some cases, the clout you had. But that was only temporary. That's what you call season hoes. As long as you're in season, you got the hoes. When you go out of season, you don't get the hoes until you come back in style. But these conversations started taking place. We said, well, this girl used to like me for this. Now that, you're in a certain age range, you have to have this, that, and the third in order for them to like you. Now, line them up and say, well, me, Chad, John, Brian, and Tony have the same exact shit that you say you like. The money, the house, the status. What makes you like me more than him? If you're leading with what we have first. So this is where you get the whole rise of the red pill, the MGTOW, the SYSBM, the black pill, red pill, purple pill. Men are trying to find their lane, and they're trying to find a safe space in which they can interact with women. And some are even walking away. When you have men telling you they're not going to deal with women anymore, they're going monk mode, you have a fucking problem. And then you have women coming into the space trying to hijack that problem because they noticed the attention that was coming with the red pill conversation. So they tried to jump in as if they were allies. That doesn't make any sense. Let's just look at the most recent issue with Jess Hilarious and the trans gentleman community. The things that they praise, they're championing these men dressing like women. Ooh, yes. Ooh, you beat to the guys. Ooh, bae. Now they want your men and they're taking your plight. They have periods and such. Now what's a problem? Oh, now what's a problem? Well, you deal with that problem because you applauded it and you supported it. So that's your fucking problem. They want men to come to the aid. Oh, absolutely the fuck not. You told us to fix us. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to fix us. Build ourselves up. We're not going to do that and worry about your bullshit that you created. Whatever bullshit you created, you fix. The bullshit created, we fix. And once it's fixed, we'll come back together and see what the results are. And a lot of men tend to get knocked off course because they're trying to come to the aid of problems that women created that only women can correct. Get your own life together first. Deal with the women how you may, but secure yourself first. It's time out for the trying to fix you and her. No. You hear these women with the bullshit conversations. You got to create a safe space for me to come in. Did the dude you have these 3 kids with create a safe space? Did the dude you have the 2 kids with create a safe space? Did the dude you had a kid with that is nowhere to be found create a safe space? So why the fuck should I do it? You want me to fix me and you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So you got to salute these men that you see in this thumbnail and those who are not in the thumbnail. I just use these gentlemen because they're the most, I would say, notable in the spaces, in the conversations from the origins of this type of content. From this, not even just the content, from the plight, speaking up for men. Highlighting men to better and to understand what they're dealing with. We're in a state of overcorrection, gentlemen. Ladies, you're on an island because you help facilitate and you help perpetuate the same issues in which you want men to correct, and it's not going to happen. You wanted the feminism. You wanted the independent woman. You're going to deal with the reality in the world in which that exists or coexists. You can't be independent, boss bitch and all this and want a traditional man. It doesn't work. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It does not work that way. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. You cannot have it all. Nope. It's not going to happen. To the winner be the spoils. And winners put in work. They take losses. They dedicate themselves. They do the sacrifices that it takes to be a winner. They get to say what the fuck goes on and what the fuck doesn't. You think you just because you waited at the finish line and he saw you looking at him, so he went with you because you picked him because he was a winner, you get the same say so as he does? Absolutely the fuck not. It does not work that way, baby. I know you've been lied to. I know you've been lied to. And not just to sound arrogant, but again, I told you I was against dating apps, but I'm on this one in particular, and I noticed the chicks that like me and try to match with me, and I look and say, now, if I was in person, I know damn well the interaction would not go this way. She would not approach me or whatever the case may be, and I'm not saying I'm the shit, but this is just from a perspective of my history in dating women and the type of women I've dealt with. These women have the confidence of a goddamn god, but that's only on the internet. It's not in real life, because most of their interactions come via the internet, which is why I'm anti-internet. Not going to engage you. You won't catch me in the conversation banter about bullshit. You won't catch me going back and forth in the comments. It will not happen. It's all action. It's all action. Take you a break, kick it, get back to it. It's no days off. You only get breaks. Take you a break, but you better not fucking take a day off, because the work is ever going. It's everlasting. It's always something to do. You talk to a person, they say, I don't have shit to do. Hang up in their face, because it's always work to do. But as we continue this state of overcorrecting, it's going to be a lot of losses. A lot of families are going to break it up. There's a post right now, and I'm going to touch on this maybe in my next video. There's a post that a person made, said, life is short, get a divorce. And it went super viral. You should see the comments and the commentary. It's pathetic. But a lot of people sign their own death certificates. It's nothing new. But we'll definitely get into that in the next video. But you guys let me know what you think about, are we overcorrecting the rise of the red pill media and the originators of the red pill and the facilitators of red pill media? But you guys let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Date Master.